Hello everyone, this is Koji again from Celestial Rhythm. Well, I just wanted to add a few things to my Mars-SATURN podcast, which I just did yesterday. It's such exciting times, and it seems we are really in a corridor toward a great new development. Mark your calendar, September 3rd to September 25. That's a very powerful window. And from there on, naturally, but this is kind of the initiation of the big emergency of new developments which we have been waiting for a long time. So let's go back to the Mars-Saturn square here for Greenwich, and again I'm pointing out the 10th degree of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is very important sign. That's the American nation's ascendant, and I will show you the story here. First of all, this is in an exact quincunx 150 degrees to Uranus, and so let's just look at this for a starter. And if we go now to the well, this is the Mars-Saturn square in Washington, and again you have the Sagittarius, this time rising. And now this is the chart I wanted to continue here. The midpoint chart between the American nation and that Mars-Saturn square, that initial first one. And again you see the Sagittarius rising with Mars at the 7th house cusp, opposed by Pelion. That energy, that centaur, which kind of anchors the energies, which makes things stable and solid. What I want to show you now is the different degrees here. So you have here the 9th degree, 913, and then here you have the American nations chart, and at 922 we have Aquarius. That's here exactly. It's a little crowded here. There's a lot going on in the American nations chart in the sign Sagittarius. Aside from the ascendant at 1313, as you see, there is a whole bunch of minor planets, and the two which are closest to the ascendant are Aquarius here, slightly above, and Huya slightly below. Now it is interesting that these two together, Aquarius is the bear's power, it's the energy which protects and also which is aware of its fierce force. Huya is breaking new ground. It is transformation of the old into the new, and this can go through some quite complex and challenging processes to get there. It struck me when I saw Reinhold Messner's chart. Many of you might not know this name. He was the first one to climb all the 14 peaks over 8,000 meters. He's a Austrian mountaineer, and he has Huya and Aquarius close to his ascendant too. It's that extreme ambition to go into the unknown, these two forces together. So this is all accentuated right now very strongly with this Mars-Saturn square. There is also Haumea being a very special new addition, was discovered in 2005 if I'm not mistaken, and it's named after a Hawaiian creation goddess. It's about that fire of recreation, of new dimensions opening, of bringing in a whole new vision, and this is all accentuated right now with this Mars-Saturn square. Just bringing back here quickly, this is the chart for Washington. You see that's exactly the degree Haumea is at in the American chart. Then if we go to the midpoint chart, 9 degrees, that is the exact degree of Aquarius, that powerful force to protect and to save. It's the mother bear's instinct which is kicking in, and it is naturally, we know, it's about saving the children. That is which will really glue the nation together over the coming weeks and months. This is so deep and so rattling to the core once everybody sees the enormous implications of what has been going on, waking up to all these terrible crimes the elite has been engaged in. That will really unite the world and bring us all together regardless of the divisions which have been planted. So this is overall a very potent time, and now I want to show you something else. This is now the Heliocentric Saturn ingress of September 3rd, which is shortly after the next new moon. Let me just double check if I say that correctly. A full moon, sorry. I'm always a little bit confused here with the lunar stations. So it will be the full moon of September the 2nd, and shortly after, Saturn heliocentrically changes signs. That is the heliocentric chart. Here you see Saturn at 0, 0, 0, 0. And what we have here is the American nation's ascendant degree right in midheaven again of this global chart. So again, showing that the global focus of this energy shift, of this planets, of this important planets, multi-year stay in Aquarius will be on the American nation. Where they go, everybody goes. It's really that simple phrase, where we go one, we go all, and it is the American nation who will be going first in that direction, and we, the other nations on this planet, all will follow. That's why we have to so much put our focus and our intention to help the American nation to make the right decision and to have the courage to go first. If we now look at that same chart for Washington DC again, where the whole action is evolving from, it's the hub of power. And again you have the sign Sagittarius rising. Huya is here again. Huya, which natally in the American nation's birth chart is in this era too. You see 1607. Huya and Therois again, both strongly accentuated. Therois in the transiting chart is at 25 Leo. This in itself is important. That whole Leo transit, which started I guess in 2018, is really the realignment with personal power. We are seeing all over the globe that people are pushed to the brink to finally wake up to their sovereignty and embrace their freedom, having almost lost it all. That is the story here. We first have to go to the extreme to fully realize the value of that personal freedom, of sovereignty, of being able to decide what we make with our lives. So you see, the overall repeating theme is that Sagittarian one, which is all about courage, adventure, taking back our strength, aiming for higher wisdom, having that courage to go where no one has gone before. If we look one more step ahead, then into the next big shift, which will be due in October, when Jupiter will pull even, also enter Aquarius heliocentrically. Let me just see if I have the heliocentric chart here too. No, I only have the geocentric one. Let's just pull out the heliocentric one. Just give me 1 second here. Okay, so here you see it. Here is Jupiter at 0, 0, 0 Aquarius on October the 12th. And what stands out in this chart, naturally again the Sag rising, as I pointed out, but also the Earth-Mars conjunction that is very close to the moment when Sun and Earth and Mars will be in an exact line, which is the start of a new mutual cycle of Sun, Earth and Mars, which means Earth, this is the symbol for Earth, is moving exactly between the Sun and Mars, which is the start of the synodic cycle. That's the day also when Mars will be closest to Earth. So this is a big day too in that sense, and it's just maybe a day or two prior to that moment. Very close alignment of Sun, Earth and Mars adds that extra kick to get things done, and as this is at the beginning of a new cycle, this will be the main theme of that coming 2-year period, that bringing in this new energy, this new Aquarian energy, with Pallas also here in Aquarius heliocentrically, Mercury being the planet of highest degree in this chart, being the one which kind of assembles all these energies and puts them into place. So last but not least, this is the American chart for that moment, heliocentric Jupiter ingressing Aquarius of October 12th, and just to really show how everything is focused on the American nation. 13 degrees 28 at zenith, at the highest point in this chart's geometry. that is the American nation's sun. Naturally again 13 degrees 19, just to quickly go back here to show you. 13 degrees 19, the American nation's sun. So we are at target, if you want to say. Everything is moving exactly in the direction it is planned. There is a great plan, absolutely. One can see this in the astrological alignments and how the events which are following out of that are perfectly timed and perfectly in synchronicity with what is going on. It is really amazing to see how this all plays out multidimensionally. So I just wanted to give you this quick add-on to what I did say in my yesterday's video. This is again going back to the Mars-Saturn chart. So that's it. I leave it at that for now. Much more could be said. Maybe just one last mention of Heliocentric. Heliocentric is a energy which is ready to sacrifice for a greater good, to give its life even to be of service. So Heliocentric is a lot about healing and service and bringing all the timelines together, sacrificing and serving. That is a very big thing. So this will be in the main line of consciousness too, starting around October 12th. That is a mere 20 days or so, 3 weeks before the American election. That will be kicking into action, that last final stage of amping up toward that big moment. And as I said in my last week's podcast, that will be the moment when Jupiter and Saturn will perfectly meet, when Jupiter will pass Saturn, when that new cycle, 20-year cycle, will be initiated energetically. November the 2nd, just 1 day prior to the American elections, that big day when the world will change. Thank you for joining, tuning in and listening. Love you all, and till soon.